Hey there, Sankum, everybody. Welcome back for another amazing video. Today, we're going to be talking about what is a better asset for you to invest in. Is it stocks? Is it real estate? Is it crypto? Is it commodities? Is it business? So, without any further ado, let's get this video started. All right, let's start off with what are stocks. Okay, stocks are you pretty much buying a small piece of a equity within a company. It could be a really big company, or it could be a really small company, but this company has to be registered publicly as a publicly traded asset, and then you can jump into it by doing research about it and knowing what the charting is, and then investing in it, and you own a small percentage of it. Two, what is crypto? Crypto, it's a blockchain asset class where it's like a code which is defined and deployed in the world in a decentralized manner, where the back end, the middle end is all decentralized file sharing system, which you then jump into, or you can use it as to develop more things on top of, and that's where the utility comes from. What problems does it solve? And then, or you can use it to trade, and that is how and that is what gives it value, right? The trading aspect of it, which is the demand, and the utility of it, which is also a demand. And I'll go in more details in when I'm explaining a little bit more about if it's a better asset for you. Next is real estate. Real estate, we all know, it's like buying property. There's different types. There's condos, there's residential, which a separate unit, it could be semi-detached, it could be detached. And then there's commercial, then there's land, then there's, agriculture, all these different things. Next is commodities. What are commodities? Commodities is pretty much like gold, silver, other formats of metals, precious metals, or you can go into actual things like bread, or sorry, I would say wheat, fruits, and things like this. And lastly, just throwing in doing some investments in startups. Okay, which one is the best for you? Well, first thing first, you have to understand who you are as a person. I get a lot of messages, people asking me, Ahmed, where should I put my money in? First of all, can I answer that question directly for you without having a proper one-on-one session with you and knowing what your financial issues are, or financial statements are, or what your financial goals are? Obviously, these are very important, and this is what defines how you should be going about your investing strategy. And so, first thing you gotta do is you gotta understand who you are as a person, and how do you interact with risk and risk management, and then how do you interact with what your goals are for the next 20, 30, 40 years. And then from there you can decide which investments you want to go into. Let's say you do an online test and you determine for yourself your risk portfolio, and you know how much you can put into more riskier assets, or how much you can put in less riskier assets. And then from there you can do more research on these five core investment tools that I told you guys. From here, once you research each one of them, the main thing you got to be looking for is which one of these do you understand the most, and which one of these do you understand how you can make money with the most. Right? If so, for example, if you start studying crypto and you're like, this is going off in my head, I'm not looking into it. Say, Mashallah, don't look into it. For you, it's technically, if you don't know what you're doing really high gharar, which is really high speculation, and it could potentially cause cautious of these things. Like if you don't have an ilm of something and you're just going into it blindly, you're not doing something smart. So, okay, let's just say you go through them, you find two that you like, right? Then what do you do next? The next thing is very important. You have to start connecting with individuals within these industries. Go meet someone who successfully traded halal crypto or halal real estate investments. Depending on whatever you want to do, you got to go meet these people and learn from them. And sometimes it may cost you something, and that's okay. You have to sometimes pay for good information. If someone is gonna teach you how they ended up going from $0 to $10 million in a halal way, their time is very valuable. So you can spend some money to learn how you can go from zero or $100, $1,000, $100,000 to $1 million. All right. So it's about understanding mentorship and taking leadership and learning from them. Find an ustad, like you do with everything in life. You've spent 80, $100,000 or whatever it is you spent to get a degree, and you paid so many ustads, just like that. This is when you're trading or you're investing, you gotta get an ustad. And if I get messages from me, I'm not necessarily gonna be jumping on calls with people doing one-on-one sessions. I may for some people, depending on what their exact questions are, but I'm busy with things.
Okay.
Once you sat with your ustad, learn underneath them. Maybe even if you have the opportunity, go into investments with them. Now, just keep this mind in like very, very, very clear for yourself that even if you lose money in the beginning, it's okay. You're learning stages. Few of the greatest investors are the people that had lost initially, so they were able to determine what plan works for them, what system works for them from their initial losses. If you think you're gonna win right off the bat and then you go huge, for example, you spend $100 on your first, investment style, and you end up making $200 from that, then you're like, okay, I can do, 1 5 50, and you could jump into like 1 5 and 50. Like you go to 50, and you're like, okay, let me spend all my $10,000 that I made and saved up into the same style, and you're like, you lost the entire thing. So, take the learning opportunities when they're there. Yeah, so you go into these investments with your ustad, and if you don't, that's fine. Go into the investment in a small quantity, or be in a format that may not hurt you financially, but it replicates the real markets. For example, in stocks, there's something called paper trading. In crypto, there's something called paper trading. In commodities, there's something called paper trading or paper investing, right? So you learn from the industry, and when you have defined a strong strategy for yourself, for who you are, for your risk portfolio, and for your knowledge set, that is what is going to work for you. So you got to follow the structure all the way through. First, you got to determine who you are. Then you got to determine which industry you understand, you can educate yourself on. Then you find leaders and ustads in those. Then you start doing a riskless or paper trading, or formats of like where you're not risking your own money or your own assets to get into the market. Once you've mastered from here, define your strategy, then you do 1 5 50 in that actual industry. Okay, so let's just kind of break that down. You find out that that you are a high risk taker and you understand stocks very well. You find someone who's done stock trading for the last 10 years and very successful strategy. You go underneath him, you pay $100 per hour, you learn from him for, let's say, 10 hours. Obviously, you learn on the side too, all the basic technical stuff, and all the detailed things that you can learn on your own from a booklet. But the actual practical stuff you start learning from him. He says you can invest with him, no problem. You do paper trading. Once you understand paper trading and you understand what's working for you, you go into the actual market with 1 5 50. So you spend, okay, $100 for this month. You ended up making $120, within 1 month. You're like, oh wow, okay, 20% profit, amazing. Let me go into spend $1,000. Okay, that worked out too. I made a few more dollars from it, another 13%, 14%. All right, now I go with $5,000, or I go with $10,000, and then I keep growing it and keep going up with that. Within this whole strategy, I want you to remember one thing, which is very, very important. You got to learn how to pay yourself first. If you see that you're seeing profits come in, start taking those profits for yourself. Try to get your initial investments out. And that is when you're working for now yourself. You're working for your investments, and you're working in a way that your money is being invested in an asset. That asset is being generating something, and that generation is bringing back more money, which is halal. And then from there, you go forward. Now, if you don't know what stocks are halal, which crypto is halal, which real estate is halal, which commodities are halal, which businesses are halal, you have to watch my YouTube videos. You got to subscribe, go through my channel. There's, I think, I don't even know, more than 100 videos up here. Start watching, start searching on my channel. If you don't find anything on my channel, let me know on my Instagram or my other social media. I'll try to make more content in regards to specifically that. And then you can, learn more about it. And if you still don't find me valuable enough, or find somebody else who's going to teach you all these things and train you, and you can make that money, that mashallah money. Remember, it's got to be halal. It's got to be something that your family is going to be blessed with. Take care of yourself. As always, assalamu alaikum.